everybody. Welcome to my little corner where there is no wrong way to play with paper. And today we are going to do another layout for the quilt block series where we take a quilt block pattern and we create layouts with them. Most of the time I use my scraps to do this, and if you've been watching along with the series, you know what I'm talking about. If not, in the description, I will have the entire playlist that goes over each quilt block, and today we're doing a new one. Okay, I don't know if I make a lot of sense. In my head, it's making sense. I'd be honored if it's the first time you found my little corner that you would like and subscribe. And as always, thank you to everyone who comes and hangs out with me and laughs and has fun and goes on my journeys with me. You mean a lot to me and I really appreciate you. Leave me a comment. Makes my day. I love to know what you're thinking, good or bad. I can always learn, right? Okay, so with that said, today we are doing the friendship star. I will put the pattern of the quilt block right up here. Now there are many ways to do this. I've seen this called Big Star. All quilt blocks are just handed down generation to generation in general. That's a true statement. And so there are many different names. So you may see this in a totally different way at another time. Now, you can do this in any size you want to do it. You can do it in a 3x3, 2x2, 1x1, whatever you want. You will need 3 blocks of the same paper. So if you're going to do 3x3, you're going to need 3 3x3s. If you're going to do 2x2, which is what this one is, you are going to need 3 2x2s, and so on and so on. At the end of me showing you this pattern, I'm going to show you not 1, not 2, but 3 different ways to use this. I've just been busy this morning. What can I say? So I do that because I don't want you to think that you are going to create what's basically a base page with your scraps and not use it. I want you to see that they can be used. They make beautiful layouts and you're using up what you already have. That is really what I have always done with base pages and or layouts that I have made inspired by a quilt pattern. Now, there are times when I just have beautiful paper and I just want to use it. So don't get me wrong, you don't have to have scraps. There's no wrong way to do this. Do it whatever makes you smile, however it makes you happy. All right, so I am going to, this is a little bit different. Most of the time I will have a 12x12 piece of paper and I will show you guys how to do the whole thing. With the friendship star, there are so many different ways to do this. This is one of the most versatile quilt blocks that I know. Simple. It is a simple one, but you do have to think about spacing. So I will show you just a basic pattern. I'm going to show you some variations of it, and we'll talk about that when I show you my layouts here after I show you the pattern. So now you are going to take, now I'm going to do the example with a 2x2 square. And as always, I've gone over this in other videos, and if you want to see me cut a square in half basically, which I'm sure you can all do, but the importance of lining up your corners and how to do that, definitely check out, I think it's video 2, I went over that. But you're going to take 3 2x2 blocks. You're going to cut 2 of them in half. So you have 4 triangles and you have 1 square block. And from there, you're going to create your star. Now, I will tell you this. If you choose to do this on a white background, don't even think about the paper. Use whatever you want. It doesn't matter. If you choose to use a pattern background, which I wish I would have had more time today, I would have pulled one out and shown you. Use a solid. Do not use a graphic paper. So if your background is like this, okay, here, I just have this in here. If your background is this and or this, not that I would ever use this for a quilt block paper, but you want to pick a color out of the background. So say you pick blue, you pick pink, that would be what you make your friendship star out of, okay? So then let me just show you, because this will stand out. Will it stand out pretty well? No, I don't think it will. Maybe, I don't know. So your star is basically, you're going to line your triangles up like this, okay? And I'm just showing you how to do it. I'm not lining it up on the paper. Again, you're going to see why when I show you my examples I can't really tell you how to start it because it's going to depend on what you want the pattern to look like. And if you all go on Pinterest and you look up friendship star quilt pattern, you're going to see a bunch of variations. It's endless. So that is just a suggestion. Now, the thing you have to remember, okay, so let me take this off because it's going to confuse you. Yeah, it's confusing me. So if you're using a colored or a patterned background, pick a solid. You do not want, it won't stand out the way you want it to. That's, I guess, what I'm getting at. You can, like if you want to do pattern on pattern, you go for it. But I don't think you'll like it. That's just my 2 cents, okay? So you're going to take your square and you're going to decide where you want it on your paper, all right? Hey, you should do it right? That's why the mat has that. See? Told you it's a quilt block. These are for quilt blocks. Anyway, so you're going to take your 2x2 square. You're going to line it up wherever you want on the paper. If you look at the pattern, it has an empty square and then the triangles start. So in the past, I have showed you to look at it as in rows and columns. This is one of those patterns you can still do that because when you sew a quilt, you sew in rows. Then you put your columns together, or some people do it vice versa. But when you're scrapbooking, you're gonna have to play with it. So the main thing to remember, once you lay down your square and you put it on your first triangle, this is the point of your star. As you go around, like in a clockwise, all of your slants, diagonals, however you want to look at it, need to be flying the same way like a pinwheel, okay? So I don't want to put it this way. This one's flying that way, that one's flying that way. Nope, I want it to fly the same way. That may sound like total common sense, no big deal, but when you start laying it out, trust me from experience, here we are flying the same way with the diagonal. You're gonna mess up because it just starts to get overwhelming, to be quite honest. And we're gonna continue around the clock face, and there is your star. So, because it's gonna be really easy when you get a bunch of them and be like, why does that look wrong? Yeah, and honestly, if you do it like this is a whole other pattern. That is a different pattern, honestly, which you can. Can you imagine diagonals across? Maybe we'll do that next week. Diagonals across the page. You could do 3 or 4 and just have a spacer in between. And if you're a quilter, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But for now, let's concentrate on all of our diagonals going the same way. So we're flying, going the same way, going the same way, and we're going to do this again. And that is our triangle. Now, I am going to show you my layouts, and I'm going to do more talking than demonstrating as I have in the past, because again, it is going to depend on what size. It is going to depend on how you want your design. There is some thought in this one, and that's why I did not start with this one, because it can be overwhelming. At the same time, it is fairly simple. Once you get the mindset, you are okay with it. Okay, so that is how you do it. Remember to go around the clock face. Everything is flying in the same direction. All right. So layout 1 here, I did 2x2s. We got Mr. Junior. He's so cute. Isn't he cute? He's a year old. I had to put a little sticker over his sister's face because I did not ask permission to do this. Here is my pinwheels. Now, because I started at the top and I knew I almost wanted to do a horizontal design with this paper. I had some scraps. I had this piece of paper. Well, if I'm being honest, this is the back side of this, but it was 9, I think. I don't remember. It wasn't a full 12 by 12. I couldn't really get what I wanted out of it. So I was like, I'm just going to use it for the quilt block. So that's what I've done. Now, these are 2x2 squares. Here is my square. Look, okay. Oh, this is bigger. This is 1.5 by 1.5. I'm lying to you. I apologize. So pretend like this is 1.5. That is my blank square. Then there's a half. Then we have a blank square. So if you look from, let me use something to cut it off here. There we go, right? So you have a whole square cut in half. A whole square, cut in half. Whole square, cut in half. What would be next? A whole square and a whole square, right? It's a pattern. That's what quilt blocking is. Then you go to the next one. This is how quilters look at it, okay? So it's going to be half square, full, half, half, full half. See what I'm saying? So this is 2, these are 2 halves. So they're going to be opposite of each other. And this is if you want your stars to be straight across. Now, obviously I had to trim it up, however you want to view that, and make it work there on the end. Okay. But that's how that one turned out. I had to measure 1.5 up and 1.5 in, and I simply started my square. So let me turn this upside down. Instead of me, you know, showing you guys like I normally do, you would line this up on the corner. Okay. I've shown you guys this before. I would be like, okay, this one is 1 in, this one, 1.5 and 1.5 is 3, right? So I would start with this triangle, okay? And so this triangle is going to line up, if I have it on here straight. Washi tape this down, okay? I have never shown you that, but seriously, washi tape this down so this doesn't move, and just count 1, 2, 3, because 1.5 plus 1.5 is 3. Take your half a square, start it, and from there, you just have to line this up. And I'm going to show you a little trick here. When you have, all right, we're going to go in 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So this is where my corner would start. I would line it up on here. All right. Now, when I went to put, down this block here, push this edge down and literally, so it doesn't go nowhere, right? Put a little dab of sticky and just like that. Then when you go to do the next one, do the exact same thing. Now we're flying this opposite, right? Same thing. See here, if I don't push it down, how it goes under? Nope. We want to push that just like so. Then it's not going to go anywhere. Just keep on going in that mindset. Okay. If you hold it down, it's easier. It's not going to slide. These aren't going to move with you. So use your fingers and press down and use that to butt it up against there. Okay. So this one, like I said, I know 1.5 because I want an empty square, and then this is a half. So 1.5 and 1.5 is 3 because these are 1.5 by 1.5 squares to make that. That's how I would create that. Okay. So there's that layout. Cute little fun Junior and his sister just hanging out. Look at that smile. He's so ornery now. I just had to have a whole talk how to be nice to his cousin. Okay, so now the next one, I did 3 by 3 squares. Whoops, I'm sorry. And this is of Jilly Joe, her learning how to ride her bike. Now, sometimes we have to not get caught up, and this is hard for me sometimes because when I do quilt blocks, I like the quilt block to stand out. I'm going to tell you that 3 by 3, you're going to have to pick a corner and you're going to have to start. Now, you can, if you are very talented and have a lot of patience, start in the middle, but I don't suggest it. If you notice, I did the exact same thing. I have an empty square here, and if I line it up, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's where my corner started, and from there, I kept going. Okay, and this is a really cool design because when you butt up all the corners, it almost makes a pin. Well, it does make a pinwheel. So we've got the star here and the pinwheel. It just so happens I covered it a lot up when I did this layout, but that's all right. And isn't this a beautiful tag? It's from Love RTS and the swaps. So that one is 3 by 3. Same ordeal, same way to line it up. Then this one is the 2 by 2. So same thing. This one is last year. Junior, is that not the cutest? That's like I love this picture. I love it. It's like the perfect picture to scrapbook. Right? And this is Jillian and my grandbaby Mary, and they were playing in a summer rainstorm. And so I wanted to just feature 2 stars. And I'll tell you, this was the second one I did. This was the first one I did, and I was frustrated that I covered it up, but it's still so cute. Like, it turned out really cute. But I decided I just wanted 2, and then I wanted the rain to come between. It took me a hot minute, and like I said, you are going to have to think about the way you want these spaced out. You are. Just take a moment, have fun with it, and play. You can rearrange them. You can do it in several different ways. There's even a way that you can create diamonds between these. Okay. Well, here, look, if you look at this one, if you look closely, this is a diamond, okay? And if you were to continue this pattern, it would be a diamond here and a diamond here, but we're doing it in a smaller scale. Now, if you want the diamonds to show, do 1 by 1s and have like a 6 by 6, you know, do that down the edge. But it does create designs, because if you remember, I told you, you will think in geometric shapes when you quilt. So if you do smaller, that will happen. And it depends on what you decide to do. Okay, so this again, upside down, because I had it at the top. I wanted it to be featured at the top. It's just how it worked out. Line it up, washi tape it down, and you're gonna go 2 inches in, and 2 inches in is 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4. That's where you would line up your first one, right? That's what I did. Once I have that first one down and it's straight, use your T-square, you know, line it up right here, do your T-square. You can even line it up on here. If you washi tape this down, this won't move, right? And so you can line this up and you can, now it's not gonna line up because I have all those embellishments on foam tape down there, but you get the idea. You'll know that this is straight, put this corner on. From there, you just have to push your edges down and butt it up against there. That's all you have to do. Okay, so this is that layout. I had a lot of fun. You know, I think in all 3 of these layouts, I used a lot of stickers. Like I really did out of my spring and summer. I used a lot of stickers. The one was Farmhouse Market, but I have all these half sheets of spring stickers. So I was like, you know what? I'm using them. So that is that laid out. Look how cute, Marion. That's the one thing about living in the desert. When it rains, it's still warm enough to go outside and play. Like it's still 80 degrees, although that means there also could be a tornado nearby, so you never know. All right, you guys, if you have any questions, put them below. I would be very, 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 very happy if you gave me a thumbs up and told me what you think. And if you have a quilt block you want to see me do, shout it out. I'm willing to try. My goal is to do 12 videos for this series. Once we hit 12 videos, I think I'll pretty much be done with it, but I'm always willing to put something out there. I love quilting designs. I don't like playing with the fabric. You have to be very precise. I can cover stuff up with embellishments when I do it here. All right, you guys, I hope you have a very blessed day, and thanks for joining me. I will see you next time. Bye.